Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. It's Monday, April 18th, 2022. The sun is going into Taurus tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Tomorrow, yeah. So we're right, and it's going into yeah. That's what I see. I hope you're all doing okay. I had a long weekend of doing Church of Spirituality services. Thank you to all of you who joined me. I felt so compelled. I did the same thing last year too, but I was on Facebook Live then. I had mentioned I'm in the process of digging up those old, not that old, seems like yesterday, services from Easter, and just, you know, I just want to mention that I feel like I'm you know, obviously I'm a spiritually minded person, or I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, and I just feel like it's important for us to, no matter what our background religiously or whatever, religion and spirituality are kind of, they're different, and I feel like we need a place to go to come together in fellowship. So thank you for all who are present for that, and who've given it a shot, because I know the word church is intimidating. Can be. Okay, so the news, so much to get caught up on. It feels like I've been gone for a year. I apologize for saying I'd be here Friday. I ended up doing just one video, and that was a Good Friday service. Let's see what's going on. I had a dream. I had a dream. It was a weird dream. And this is not a prophetic dream, so don't think it's a prophecy, because it isn't. But I had a dream, one of those early in the morning. I don't usually remember my dreams, but right before I woke up, I thought Ted Cruz was elected president, because that's what happened in my dream. I think that was just my fear showing itself, of how loud the GOP, party is, and how much work we really have to do. So I think fear drives me, and that's the only sense in that fear is a good thing. So yeah, it was a nightmare. It was the same feeling as when we woke up in 2016, and you know who. Remember that day? We hope to never relive a day like that. That's why we have Grassroots of Democracy. Send an email to grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com if you haven't already. Type AYE in the subject line. That gets you on the mailing list, and we send you a Zoom invite. We have meetings Thursday from 7 to 8, and also on Saturday we have a meeting that's, you can attend to just write your emails and everything. So I'm going to take a look at, I'm going to start with the storms in the southeast. I had mentioned that it was going to be unbelievable storm-wise this spring. The air is very unstable in my neck of the woods here on Monday the 18th. It's they're expecting a nor'easter with snow. A little inland. When you're on the coast, you tend to not get as much snow because of the ocean effect. But anyway, we're expecting a nor'easter overnight, and that's kind of crazy. I mean, to get snow in April, that's kind of crazy. It's happened before, but it's a little nuts. The South is going to keep getting hammered, unfortunately, and it's gotten to a point, honestly, the whole weather thing has gotten to the point, just to make a comparison. Remember when gun shootings were a big deal, and they were front page news all the time, and now they kind of go, they're not on the front page anymore. The weather is going to do that too, where, there might be a major tornado or hurricane. Case in point, I live where the perfect storm happened. If you remember that book and that movie, the book by Sebastian Junger, that was right off the coast here. We lost the Andrea Gale in that storm, and that at that time in 1991, a storm like that was like, we used to call them the 100-year storms, because they came once every 100 years. They could be expected, some event like that. And now it's just like regularly happening. I even saw a YouTube channel that was a live channel that it was sometime the end of the week last week. I just happened to see it. This guy was tracking the storms, the tornado warnings and all the storms that were just touching down all over the South. So it's gonna be tough. I mean, we live in a time where everything's gonna be escalated, as you probably have noticed. So as far as the storms go, yeah, the Chariot, we're going to see a lot of fast-moving, very destructive storms coming in. We will just have to surrender to the reality that we have messed up the planet so much as a human civilization that there's nowhere else to turn but to alternative sources of energy that don't burn, fossil fuels and produce more carbon. The Three of Pentacles is going to be a lot of rebuilding. I did mention, too, that this is going to sort of shift the energy of these elections in November. It's going to shift things more to the Democrats, into the Democrats' lane, because the Democrats are the party that take care of the people, or at least they propose to do that. At least that's the Democratic platform. So the weather looks, this is gonna be a deciding year. And besides, with the Putin's, can't even call it a war anymore, genocide. We'll get to that a little bit, not too much. With that, Europe is going to have to stop relying on gas from Russia. So that will make an impact too. Funny how these things work, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, to have this Chariot, just storm, one after another, dominoes, one after another, after another. Like snow on April 19th. We're not getting snow. Thank the Lord. Anyway, this is having to surrender. Because it's too late for a lot of this stuff. And just because I mentioned it being too late for a lot of stuff, please support SaveSoil.org. Go to SaveSoil.org. That's Sadhguru's worldwide initiative. He's riding his motorcycle through Europe. I know you've heard me say it before, but some things are worth repeating again and again. On a quest to save our topsoil, because our topsoil is going extinct. We will not have the soil that we need to grow crops to feed the world. So, but there's time. There's time to handle some of the global climate change issues, and there's time to handle the topsoil issues. And in the meantime, on the GOP front, they think the most important issues are trans children and critical race theory, which is not a thing. And what's the other one? Taking away math books, because they have... I don't know how math books can have anything to do with critical race theory. Anyway, we'll get to that too. The Republicans are not addressing any problems at all. They're just creating problems. How can people vote for them? Well, and then they're rigging the system, so... Because that's what they're about. They're about cheating. Remember we were talking about Mark Meadows having a fake address in North Carolina. I mean, that's a crime. Doesn't he get prosecuted for that? Or doesn't something happen? Anyway. We'll also get to Abbott. So I've given you a little sneak preview. We'll also get to Abbott, because I was thinking today about Greg Abbott and how he possibly could get away with all that food because of his silly convoy and truck inspections that were not necessary. How much food? It was in the millions of pounds or tons or whatever. I don't know. I just caught it briefly, but all these people that are hungry that need food, and he let that food spoil. That's all on him. That's a crime. We'll take a look at that. Anyway, I have a little list. I actually bought a new notebook for my PNNs. I take this stuff very seriously. Oh. Let's see. I'm actually deciding what to talk about next. Which issue should I touch on? Let's get this one over with. Let's get the one over with about what's going on in Putin's head. And I only say get it over with because it's so hard. I've heard people say this on the news, and I've been thinking it for a while since we've seen the heinous crimes war crimes that Putin is committing. It's not a war. It's a brazen. It's a genocide. Because the Ukrainians didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. They were just sitting there, just living their lives. And you just came in and murdered them. It's just, they're... So we're going to look at, here's the angle I'm going to take on this. I'm going to take the angle of, I'm going to ask if May 9th is going to be the end, because Putin's using that day as a celebration of, like, an anniversary of the Russia defeating the Nazis. The irony's not lost on me. I'm sure it's not lost on you. Because he's calling the Ukrainians Nazis and he's trying to get rid of Nazism. Anyway, it's a complicated mess. Is May 9th going to be the end of it? See what the cards say. He's thinking about it. So I'm just asking, is May 9th going to be the end? Is Putin going to pull out the troops on May 9th? He's thinking about it. He's thinking about bringing it to some kind of a... I don't want to say end. He's thinking about shifting it. Like oh, we did what we came to accomplish on May 9th. The Magician... Boy, this looks like NATO is going to... This looks like NATO's going to gain some ground in terms of the weapons that they've given the Ukrainians. The Queen of Wands, this has to do with the, Mother Russia's propaganda continuing. But it feels like, those antennas that people are building in Russia to get the news. Can you imagine? We take so much for granted, I think. Boy, that May 9th thing. Let's ask the Pendulum. Let's ask the Pendulum. Is May 9th, is Putin looking at May 9th being an opportunity to withdraw troops? Is he looking at it as that? Nope. No, not. So he's not looking to end it, but he is pondering what to use May 9th for. Yeah, it's complicated. And I've thought more than once, believe me, I have thought more than once about when people were asking, is he really going to invade Ukraine? Is he really going to invade Ukraine? And that's one of those things that I didn't see it. You heard it here, and I saw a skirmish and then withdrawal. So I'm not sure what happened there. And other psychics are saying the same thing too. So, none of us say 100%. I was probably picking up on the collective energy that we were all going, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen because he's got too much to lose. Let's ask the Pendulum. Did it switch from that? Was it that and then it switched suddenly? Was the energy there and then it switched suddenly? It looks like the energy of him not going ahead with it was there, but then it suddenly switched. I remember that night when, I don't know who it was, but February 24th, it was late at night, and I don't know, one of the ambassadors from Ukraine was yelling at this guy from the Russian Federation, like, about what Putin just declared war, and it was like, what? And whoever thought it would go this far? Really just stunning. And I just want to speak a little bit to how hard this is on our I mean, just to watch the suffering, watch the killing, to know what we know and to see what we're seeing. We have to work extra hard at bringing our vibration up, and if you feel like you're just like down for the count sometimes, or like, oh, I don't know why I kind of can't get a grip. Well, there's a lot of people suffering. A lot of people suffering, and I mention all the time, we're a collective energy. So if you feel like you're not able to hold things up for yourself, just take a break, take a walk, talk to a friend, distract yourself, with something light and positive. Do what you can. Have tools in your toolbox. We are all in this together. We're all going through this together. And since 2020 hit, or maybe we could say 2016, we have been pummeled. When 2020 hit, it just like, it went to a whole different level. But it's just, I'm just saying, this is hard for everybody. It's harder for some people than others, because some people have really lots of other heavy stuff going on too. So let's all be gentle. This is actually a time, with ourselves, this is actually a time where we more than ever, we have to be kind. And while I'm on the topic, I want to share a personal experience, and then I will go to some more questions. A week or so ago, I was talking to my guides. I was just sort of like talking about the tendency that I have in my mind to complain about things. And we all do it, and I'm sharing this with you because I know I'm not alone in this. And I grew up in an area, the Boston area, people complain about everything. It's part of the culture. We just complain about everything. So in my head, I would be complaining or judging, or in my head, and I said to my guides, I don't like that I'm doing this. This is not the best version of me. And I asked the guides for some sort of thing to shift me from doing that. And I'm sharing this with you because it definitely helps to bring the stress level down, to just make a commitment. So when I get annoyed, if somebody does something I don't like, or I feel like somebody's, being a jerk or whatever, it's usually not personal. It's usually just an observation, fortunately. I'm doing this new thing, and I'm saying this, sometimes out loud. I don't have a problem with that. Just to remind myself, I don't need to have a problem with that. It's like Wayne Dyer said, Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's on the other side now, he would say, and this kind of prompted me to do this, he'd say, most people go through life looking for reasons to be offended. And I just started thinking about that. So that's my technique, and I just wanted to share it with you. I've just started saying in my head, when I find myself going to complaining, to just go, I don't have a problem with that, and let it go. Right over my shoulder. You can try that and get back to me, okay? If you want to sample that one. I'd be curious to see if it works for you. Anyway, meanwhile, back to, we've done the storms in the southeast, or just in general. Greg Abbott, what the heck? Okay, so I do think it's criminal. Greg Abbott it's startling to me, it's disturbing to me that this isn't being considered. What Greg Abbott did at the border with the trucks, with all that food coming in from Mexico. We get a lot of food from Mexico. Get ready for the price of avocados to skyrocket. All the restaurants close to the border, all the Mexican restaurants in Texas that rely on that food to come in. It was Easter weekend, so many people celebrating Easter. What do you have on Easter? You have a fruit cup, right? I had a fruit cup on Easter. It's like, wow. Doesn't he get in trouble for that? And the scary thing about it is Greg Abbott is so fascist that this is like a Stalin-esque kind of a thing. He doesn't care if the people don't get their food. He doesn't care if all these tons of, crates of food, of fruits and vegetables rot and go to waste. To the tune of how much money? I need to know. I'm going to look into this further, but let's just look at whether there are repercussions for him. It's astounding. It's hard for me to go, I don't have a problem with that, but I do my best. I actually, if there's something you can do, like write an email or be activist, that's good too. Okay, so is Greg Abbott going to have to pay consequences for what he's done with all these truckers? It looks like there's some kind of a lawsuit. Yeah, it looks like there's some kind of a lawsuit. It could be from the food distributors. I feel like there's some kind of a lawsuit coming at Greg Abbott for that stunt he pulled at the border, which had nothing to do with anything except he's trying to say that there's immigrants, on the trucks, and there aren't. Amazing. Yeah, there's some kind of a legal issue here. And people are actually going to unite. This is a lover card. These cards are they're hard to... I know it looks like two people making out. But this is about people uniting. I'll use the other deck next time, because they can be confusing. Anyway, you get the drift. There are people coming together about this. Oh, and actually, Beto is getting a lot of love right now. So that's something to do with that, too. The King of Swords, Greg Abbott's going to keep going at it. Abbott's going to keep going at it. It's funny, I've been noticing that name on different, I noticed the name Abbott on a landscaping truck today, and I noticed the name Abbott on the Boston Marathon was today, and I noticed I saw a few pictures of it, and there was Abbott some kind of company advertising or something. Anyway, he just keeps popping up in my head. Anyway, so the King of Swords, he's going to keep at it. Greg Abbott he's hell-bent on, what can I do next? What can I do next to exert my power and control? He's just like, wow. How empty you must be inside to have to do this stuff. I mean, what does his wife think of him? I don't know, and he's in a wheelchair. And I don't know if that has anything to do with him feeling like he has to exert more. I don't really know what his condition is, and I'm not saying anything about people in wheelchairs. I'm just wondering if he's maybe he feels compromised and so he overdoes it, or I'm not sure what that's about. Madison Cawthorn has a similar thing going on too, so I don't know if it's connected, but with them in particular, like I said, I'm not saying anything about people in wheelchairs, so I'm just saying I wonder if there's, if there already was an issue and that made it worse just with their control issues. I do want to know more about that. Okay, so let's ask if Abbott's going to get reined in, because he is out of control. That's the thing that's disturbing. He's not getting reined in. Did you notice? And DeSantis too. They're not getting reined in. These Republicans not getting reined in with taking away voting rights and taking away women's rights and taking away LGBTQ rights, and it's disconcerting. Well, the jury's still out on that. The Two of Pentacles is, he's, Greg Abbott, he's just going to keep pushing it until somebody, this reminds me of the InfoWars thing, not that he's connected to that, but it's just, he's going to keep pounding away until somebody stops him with something he cannot get away with anymore. I mean, look at what happened in that 2 winters ago, with those people dying, freezing to death because the power plants didn't upgrade the system. Like, the governor should have taken care of that. He doesn't care about the people at all. So how does he get elected? You know, they're fascists. They're fascist. Two of Pentacles is, he's doing a little dance to see if he can continue to get away with being a fascist. The women are coming down on Abbott. We don't know when, but the Six of Cups is when it's like there's going to be 6 things that pile up with Abbott. Major, doesn't he have the anti, like if parents have a trans child, he's trying to get them cited for child abuse. I mean, it's beyond the pale. It's beyond the pale, yes. It's hard for us to imagine, yes. But it's not hard to imagine if you know what Putin does and you know what Orban does. This might be a long session tonight because now I know that I have to look into CPAC going to Hungary to hang out with Orban. Try to keep up, people. I know. It's not easy for me either. Try to follow the thread, but it's pretty like frayed right now. They've gone full on fascist, and you know, the GOP is so about controlling the people, and it's all about the controlling by withholding. Are we ready to go to DeSantis? Are we ready to go to Florida? What I want to ask about Florida and DeSantis is if Disney's making any headway on opposing the Don't Say Gay bill. This anti-woke stuff is really about they don't want people to be smart. Because there's no better way to control people than to make sure they're not learning anything. We have a lot of work to do. It's, you know, pretty much cut out for us. But one thing that we're learning in our Grassroots of Democracy meetings is we're learning about the many different organizations that are making a lot of progress on helping to save our democracy, and we're joining up forces with them. So you know how to join. I'll put it in the description too. Oh, interesting. I'm asking about DeSantis, and the Disney. I guess the question wasn't that clear. Okay, what? I'm asking about the Don't Say Gay bill. I'm seeing an end to it. The death card is coming up. I'm seeing an end to the Don't Say Gay bill. It's against the First Amendment, for one thing. And I see parents and kids coming together and fighting it. And I don't see DeSantis being very happy. Well, he's not happy anyway. What happy person would spend all his life energy trying to control people? He was in the military, which is a little bit scary too. Princess of Pentacles. Interesting. I feel like DeSantis' wife, remember she had breast cancer, poor thing. I feel like she's going to have something to do with him, honey, like tone it down. Wow. We haven't heard about her health condition in a while. I did see a while back that was going to make him sort of... Remember he took her to a party? She's undergoing cancer treatment, chemo treatments, and at the height of COVID, took her to a party and refused to let her wear a mask. I mean, gosh. That's not love. That's something else. I mean, if anything, we're seeing a massive movement of anti-love, you know, well, I guess you could call that hate. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, as Dionne Warwick used to sing. Hang on, I'm pondering. It's it's a lot to digest. It's like, why are we not able? That's a good question. Why have we been so ineffective? I mean, the Democrats really have a lot of talking points, because the Democrats have a plan for the American people, and the Republicans have a plan, and it's to take away all of our rights. In a nutshell, the Democrats have plans to help the American people, and the Republicans have plans to not help the American people. So they have anti-plans, and they're anti-love, and they're anti-freedom. They're anti-democracy. Is it just me? I'm just astounded. Wow, this is popping up again. I'm getting the same cards again. Okay, it's starting to get a little clearer. The Republicans are going to find out this is a losing proposition. What they're doing, taking away the American people's rights, taking away women's rights, taking away transgender rights, taking away gay rights, taking away the right of teachers to teach what they want to. Did I say women's rights already? They're taking away all these rights, and nobody's gonna want them. Did you hear the latest one? Tucker Carlson has a show about manning up, being a real man. Let's control the women. Craziness. Yeah. Wow. I don't think it's, I think that people are going to get, from what I'm seeing here, so angry, incensed. This card. Because they have enough issues. They've really just, this is packed a punch to the American people. This is like, it's, first we had voting rights, taken away. They've been taken away. Let's be real. We got to get them back. And then, I know they've been working a long time at getting rid of women's rights. Then they went ahead and did that. Then they went after critical race theory and the teachers, even though the teachers aren't teaching critical race theory. They went after the COVID, the masks, and the, mandates. Then they went after, they went after too many things. Democrats, have their work cut out for them. If you're a Democrat, you have your work cut out for you. We all do. Next, shall we go to Marcus Flowers is running against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. There's an organization called Swing Blue Alliance, and they're sending postcards to Georgia to get out the vote, get people, to make sure that they're going to vote. You can join. All right. So Marcus Flowers versus Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene has some January 6th stuff coming up. It looks like Marcus Flowers will beat her. Support him. Do what you can. That's what I see. That's what I see. This, and just, I know I'm jumping around a lot, but there's a lot. This war on Ukraine is actually, believe it or not, it's making people wake up. I guess it's easy to believe. It's actually taking precedence over the other stuff that people are being fed on Fox News. Let's take a look at Tucker Carlson. Let's see how what is he calling it? Tucker Carlson actually is calling the problem with the, the normal people. what's happening with the woke America, Tucker Carlson is calling it feminizing America. So he's rallying against, and rally is the right word, Tucker Carlson is rallying against, like he's so manly, right? He's not that manly. Rallying against men being feminized. I just heard this on Joy Reid. I think that's where I first heard it. Men being feminized. Well, I have a dear friend who's on the other side, great, amazing songwriter who wrote a song. You might be able to find it. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to find it, called Real Men Cry. Love this song. I'll see if I can find it. I'll post it. Real Men Cry. So Tucker Carlson is up there promoting, and I saw the little ad, and it's like this, like in the first movie Rocky, this guy is like drinking, like Rocky was drinking a glass of raw eggs. Yikes! I mean, I had some hard-boiled eggs because it was Easter, and those are good, but raw? I don't think so. And chopping wood and being a real man, like those testosterone commercials, is like, whatever, but whatever you're into, I guess. But that's been the problem with the world, is the overemphasis on the masculine. Because believe me, this is nothing against the men out there. I just got to say, if women were running the world, we wouldn't be going through what we're going through right now. I don't think we'd have wars. We might have, bee fests, but we might have bitch fests, but I'm out of control, Excuse me. Tucker Carlson's anti-feminizing the men in America. Well, looks like it's not going to work, because we've got some females here going, I don't know, we don't want that. We don't want that. Do we want that? We want to be subservient? I don't think it's going to go very far. I see that going off the air quickly. He has a program about it. Kimberly Gargoyle was speaking to the January 6th committee. I do feel that we're going to see those hearings, it looks like the end of May. The end of May? Let's ask the Pendulum. I do have people signed up for the Pendulum class. All filled up on April 30th, all filled up on May 7th. I have some room on May 14th. I guess it's a popular topic. If you'd like to sign up for that, I'm going to put it in the description box, I promise. Send an email to annettedionpsychic@gmail.com to get in on the May 14th class. It's a Saturday from 1 to 3 Eastern Time on Zoom. Kimberly, but I want to ask, which week in May are we going to see? First of all, are we going to see the hearings starting in May? The hearings will start in May. Okay, is it going to be the first week of May? Second week of May? Second to the third week of May. We'll see the hearings start. Lovely. Let's go to Trumpsterland, shall we? But well, let's do Kimberly Gargoyle first. Her real name is Guilfoyle. Gosh, I'm so glad my last name only has 4 letters. That's too many letters. Guilfoyle. First, I think she resisted the subpoena at first. I think she stonewalled at first, but she was at the hearing. She was being questioned today. See how that turned out. Oh, it looks like it was emotional. Actually, the strength card comes up, so it actually strengthened the January 6th committee's case. And they got more out of her because they got more out of Kimberly Gargoyle because I think it was clear to her that it would be better for her to, I know it's not an actual court case, but it almost feels like plea bargain. It was emotional for her. I think she probably cried tears. They doesn't mean they were real. Doesn't mean they were real. But did she actually feel sorry? Did she actually act like she was sorry? Did she show remorse? Oh my gosh. I don't know why that really surprises me. But I feel like Kimberly Gargoyle actually was acting remorseful. Weird. The plot thickens. Since we're heading in that direction, let's look at how Trump is feeling right now. I know that, if you watch the news, it'll drive you crazy because you'll get 18,000 million opinions, it feels like. So that's why all the psychics are so busy, right? On their YouTube channels. Is Trump getting stronger? Now, let me tell you something. A couple nights ago, I don't know, I was kind of hearing that Trump said something about the doctor called and wanted to take a look at something again, which has ominous tones to it. I don't know what anybody's saying about that per se, but let's take a look at his health. My sense actually is that Trump has something he's got something bad with his health right now. But then again, Putin's in bad health too, so doesn't mean, like the evil keeps him alive. I wish I was kidding. He has a lot of people covering up for him. Trump has a lot of people covering up for him. He's in poor health, but he has a lot of people covering up for him. Don Jr. and Ivanka. What I mean by that is I feel like they've been told don't say anything. That's interesting. I don't feel that there's a lot of love between Trump and Ivanka right now, but I feel like there's something going on with Trump's health and that they're being sworn to secrecy. Interesting. We do want to see justice served. Is there something else? Probably. Checking my list. What else do I want to tell you? I have a clear schedule this week if you want to book a reading. I don't know what happened. I go away for a few days. I didn't really go away for a few days. I did spiritual services. But I wasn't telling you to call me for a reading. So annettedionpsychic@gmail.com. I have room. Oh, and the other announcement is that I was just in touch with Corey moments ago. And we decided that we're going to shoot for a live show tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can always catch it afterwards, but we're planning to go live, which is crazy, but, sometimes you got to, stir things up a little. What else do you want to know? I'm just going to delve a little bit more into the January 6th committee. I always get cards like the Ace of Cups, and I often get the Strength card on the January 6th committee. I really do sense that this committee is really, it's a lot like the 9/11 Commission. The difference is we didn't have enemies in our own country against democracy at that time. I mean, not across the board, but we didn't, in general, we didn't have domestic enemies against our democracy. So the January 6th committee feels very much like the 9/11 Commission, just in terms of their energy and how they're going. They probably use that as a very strong model. The January 6th committee, wow, they found out a lot of stuff. It's been really, that's obvious in that, right? They found out a lot of stuff. They're really in a point where they can't really say too much. This has to do with Merrick Garland, the DOJ, the January 6th committee. They found out there's some really painful, hard stuff going on here. They can't really move on it right now, but the Sun card says it's going to get illuminated soon. The facts will see the light of day soon, and then it'll be up to the DOJ and the American people to decide how we want approach this. Before we go, let's take a little peek at Merrick Garland. I do feel that we have been in, under the danger of entertainment purposes only. I feel like that we're under the danger of Russia messing with our government. And that's not news. That's something that I talk about that a lot, and that's not news. But I'm just going to look at if that's affecting what's the outcome of the January 6th committee will be. No, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't. I think Putin's too busy, honestly. I don't think Putin has very much interest in what the January 6th committee is doing in terms of wanting to, to stretch his limited resources to, messing up our government anymore. I feel like they did the damage, Putin did the damage that he needed to do, interfering in our elections and getting Trump to be his buddy and, give him a gift of a soccer ball. It's just, I think that's it. No, the guide said ask about Trump. Just about, the jail thing, if that's going to happen and all that. And then I'll let you go. I'll let me go. Oh my goodness, he's so angry. Trump is so angry. He's just... It's not good when he's angry, but I don't feel like he feels good. So if you're angry and you don't feel good, that's not a very good combination. Trump is collecting some money. He is collecting some money. The guide said it's not going to be enough. That's what they just said. It's not going to be enough. He's collecting some money, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah. His nefarious ways are being found out. Trump is working really hard at getting people to really love him the way that they did before. I think his base is shrinking. And he's just, right now he's centered and focused on how can he get them to love him again. He has money coming in, but it's going out really fast, and he's not liking it. That's what's going on with Trump right now. So that is what I have for you. And oh my goodness, we're going on 50 minutes. So annettedionpsychic@gmail.com if you'd like to book a reading this week. Pendulum class, I still have openings for May 14th. It's going to be about 10 to 13 people per class. And annettedion7@gmail.com is the email to address to send. I'll put it in the description box. Okay, I hope I didn't keep you too long. Namaste. I'll see you again in a couple of days. I'm sorry for the hiatus, but we had sacred holy days to observe, and, I got to do what the guides say. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.